Hey, what's up, guys? Coach Bobby here, back for another Motivational Monday. We're talking about limits today, guys. Remember back when you were a little kid. Remember when you were small and you thought about becoming a doctor or becoming a lawyer. Remember when you dreamed about playing in the NFL or about playing in the NBA. Remember when you were a little bitty kid and you knew for certain that you could one day become an astronaut or even the president of the United States. Remember that dream, that vision, that hope, that goal that you had in your heart. What happened? What happened? Limits happened. Other imposed limits. Life imposed limits. What happened year after year? Right? Setback after setback. Right? Fumble after fumble, fall after fall, stumble after stumble. You begin to reduce your own limits. You begin to let life tell you what you can and can't do, what you cannot and can be in your life. And you begin year by year, decade by decade, you begin to forget who you are, forget where you come from. And I'm here to tell you guys that we don't need to do that. We don't need to accept what the world tells us we should be, what the world tells us we can be. Right? I don't care who you are. I don't care what your age. I don't care what your gender. I don't care what your size. I don't care what you came from. You can still do whatever you want to do in your life. Right? What happened to all of us? What happens to all of us is people around us begin to tell us what we can do. Begin to tell us what we can't do. We're too short. We're too old. We're too young. We're too skinny. We're too fat. We're too black. We're too white. We don't sound right. We don't talk right. Right? We didn't have the right background, the right neighborhood, the right parents, the right income. Right? I'm telling you guys, it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what your gender is. You can be what you want to be. So what we're going to do today, guys, what we're going to do starting right now is we're going to stop believing what they say about us. We're going to stop doing what they say we should do. And listen to our own heart. And let our own heart tell us what we can do. No longer will we say, I'm too small. No longer will we say, I'm too old. No longer will we say, I'm too black, I'm too white. No longer will we say, but I'm a female. No longer will we say, I didn't go to the right school. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. No longer will we let their limits become our limits. Every day, we're going to change the narrative in our own voice, in our own head, and begin to accept only what we say we can be. And change the narrative in our head from what they said we can't do. And many times it came from a good place. Right? The loved ones around us tried to protect us from failure, protect us from hurt, protect us from pain. Right? And the haters, right, were too afraid to chase their own dreams, to chase their own vision, to chase their own goals, that they deterred us from ours, stopped us from ours, discouraged us from ours. No more. Coach Bobby's telling you, Coach Bobby's giving you permission to be what you're supposed to be. No limits. Right? So I don't care how old you are. Let's push. I don't care what gender you are. Let's go. I don't care where you come from, or what you're doing, or what your occupation is, or how many kids you have, or if you're divorced or single. Let's push. I don't care if you grew up stuttering. I don't care if you grew up skinny. I don't care if you grew up fat. Let's push. And let's, for once in our life, listen to our own heart and our own spirit and our own soul. Right? And let's take their limits that they put on us and put it in the trash can. And the only limits that we decide to live by, the only limits that we decide to chase, the only limits that can keep us from where we want to go are our limits. The limits that we set for ourselves. The limits that we determine for ourselves. I'm telling you guys, that can be whatever you want to be. That limit can be whatever you want it to be, at whatever age you are, at whatever gender you are, at whatever ethnicity you are. That limit can be whatever you want. So let's stop letting them decide where we can go, what we can do, and who we can be. Right? Let's stop letting their limits on us decide where we can go, what we can do, and who we can be. And from this point forward, the only limits between us and our dream, the only limits between us and our vision are the limits that we set.